Police officers are supposed to help people, but sometimes they hurt people instead. This is called police brutality, and it happens more often to black people and other minorities in America. One example is what happened recently to Sonya Massey. Now, Sonya called the police for help, but the police officers who came to help ended up shooting her. This is very sad and wrong at the same time. According to Sonya's son, the people in charge didn't tell him what really happened right away. Instead, they tried to make up a story to explain things before talking to him. These things even made him more confused and hurt. So what really happened to Sonya Massey, and why her son might have been exposing the officers for hiding an alleged sacrifice they did? And what was the reason Sonya was trying to get her Bible during this conversation? For the past few days, I've been trying to find some details around this case that are kept hidden, and the things that I found are twisting the entire plot of the story. So sit back, relax, and if you can subscribe to the channel, it would mean a lot to me. So without wasting time, let's get into the video right away.
As soon as I was like finna go back to sleep, I got a call, and it was like a random number. I didn't know who it was, but I answered it, and that's when they said your mother has been and it came out her neck. They just was saying somebody. That's all they like. I don't know why they kept on saying somebody, and I said who, and they wouldn't tell me who. I'm like, who? And they just said somebody.
Now, before getting into the investigation and what his son said about this case, I would like to explain this case to those who don't know what's going on. So basically, this tragic incident is from Georgia, where Sonya, a 40-year-old woman struggling with mental health issues, was shot by Deputy Grayson, as you can see on the screen, after her mother called the police for a welfare check. Initially, Grayson claimed that Sonya had shot herself, but later admitted he was the one who pulled the trigger. This confusing situation left Sonya's family, especially her son, feeling upset and seeking the truth about what really happened. Now, getting back to the topic, it seems like some people may have been trying to hide what really happened during this incident, because when we take a look at Grayson, who shot Sonya, and the police chief, they both acted in strange ways. You see, at first Grayson tried to claim that Sonya had shot herself. However, when other investigative units arrived and asked for the said weapon, he had to admit he was the one who pulled the trigger.
No, she had boiling water and came at me with boiling water.
You shot her?
Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water.
This incident is gaining nationwide traction now. Also, the documents of Grayson's employment history were released to the media a few days ago, and surprisingly, the records were not good again. It said that years before he had a series of disciplinary concerns, so these concerns are like when someone does something wrong and needs to be reminded to follow the rules. Now there were potential warning signs that did not stop him from getting hired by 6 Illinois agencies in 4 years. So the question that arises from here is, how did he get to be a police officer in the first place when his previous records were not good? I think this is just a prime example of the faulty screening system for police officers that caused Sonya's life. The American police again showed that they were not doing their job well when they didn't tell the officers who came to help about a request that Sonya's mother had made the day before. This was a big mistake and made things even more confusing. Now, during their conversation, I noticed the cop gets aggressive the second she mentioned God, which made people speculate that why would he get so aggressive in a second? Someone wrote, crazy how the cop got so aggressive the second she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Now, we don't know if something was wrong spiritually with this case or not, but few of the things are twisting this entire plot of this case. One of the speculation that is making rounds on the internet is that the officer was just being racist to Sonya, speaking of the fact that even her son claimed that she would have been alive if she was not black.
Do you think Sonya would still be alive if she had not been black?
Yeah, he would have definitely been more cautious. He wouldn't have did that, I don't think.
No, he wouldn't have did it at all.
A precious woman lost her life at the hands of a cop. She knew they would hurt her. Her first words to them were, please don't hurt me. Moving on, let's discuss the entire 911 call confusion that the officer were trying to hide from us. According to Sonya's mother, she had requested the 911 operator that her daughter was having some sort of mental problems, which was why they should send non-aggressive officers when they respond to Sonya's call for help. In that conversation, Sonya's mother explained that she was also afraid of police officers.
Please don't send no combative policemen that are prejudiced, please. They're
scary. I'm scared of the police. Sometimes they make the serious bit worse.
Now, when the sheriff was confronted about the reason why they did not listen to Sonya's mother's request, he literally denied having any information about the cause. So while he claimed that he always tried to give his helpers all the information before they arrived, it is interesting how the chief was deflecting and blaming other people for things that would have been a standard course of action. Since the sheriff only cared about defending himself, his consistent blame shifting did not escape Sonya's family, and they called the sheriff to resign. However, he denied once again shifting the responsibility to Sean Grayson.
It sounds like Sonya's mom was trying to warn authorities, potentially warn your agency. How does that hit you now, knowing what happened?
Well, I haven't heard the tape. I'm certainly concerned. I want our deputies to have all the information they can before they arrive, and so I don't know why that wasn't transmitted.
Will you resign?
I will not resign. I understand the pain, that they're hurting, and they want to hold somebody accountable. We are holding somebody accountable. That is Sean Grayson. He did this. He alone did this.
As for Grayson, he was fired from his job. It was more of a detachment strategy than holding Grayson accountable. I believe they fired Grayson to just clear their name. While enforcing, the department had no part in it. Massey's son urged for Grayson to be behind bars for life to get justice for his sick mother. It is not hard to understand that Sonya was having some kind of an episode. When she had answered the call late, when the deputies responded to her 911 call, she frequently mentioned God and "don't hurt me" were a clear indication of her fragile mental health. Not to mention, she even forgot her last name, which was a tell sign. So why is it mind-boggling that the other deputy did not step in when Grayson decided to yell at Sonya? Not to mention, it is questionable that Grayson's partner did not intervene when Grayson fed the story to other officers that Sonya charged at him with boiling water. It really gives us a window to witness the disgraceful code of conduct that the deputies follow. If you look closely at the last moments of Sonya, you can clearly see that she was apologizing to the deputy, begging for her life, before he unleashed a storm of bullets. The autopsy reports also showed that Sonya was in a vulnerable state as the bullets were fired in a downward trajectory. The bullet went in from under her eye and exited through her neck. And if Sonya was really coming at him with hot water, why would the bullet be fired on a downward trajectory? It would be a straight one instead. Grayson's cruelty was beyond comprehension when he discouraged his partner from giving medical aid right after the shooting. Unsurprisingly, this was not the first time Grayson had indulged in misuse of his power. While he was working at the Logan County Sheriff's Office, a supervising officer exposed Grayson for allegedly lying in reports and showing a general lack of integrity, which, considering what has happened, is nothing surprising.
7 months on, how are you still employed by us?
I don't know.
Sean? Do you understand what I am saying?
Yes, I do, sir.
And I've had this conversation with you before. If we can't trust what you say and what you see, we can't have you in our uniform.
According to reports, the officer threatened Grayson to get his act straight, as he could end up behind bars, as the department did not tolerate this type of conduct. Grayson was also accused of abusing his powers and harassing a couple he pulled over and arrested during a traffic stop. As mentioned in the disciplinary file from the Logan County Sheriff's Office, the file noted that the allegations by the couple against Grayson were deemed unfounded. Now let's see how Sonya Massey's son speaks how this whole thing might have been a setup by the police officer, as he talks about how the same police officer that shot her mother had already interacted with her just a few hours before that incident happened.
It was an incident that happened earlier that day, and I talked to 2 officers or whatever, and I believe that it's the same officer that shot my mother.
I want to know what you guys think about this situation. Do you guys think Grayson had targeted her from the start, or was he just irresponsible in dealing with a complaint from a black woman? Let us know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.